Okay, finally, let us go ahead and set up our very first local area network from the information we gathered as to what TCP/IP is and different classes of IP addresses, A, B, C, D, and E. I think it's time for us to have our hands on practice, So we want to set up our very first local area network. Requirement for this is to have at least two systems and have a straight cable connect these systems to a switch. If you don't have a switch, you could use a crossover cable to connect two systems together, and then we should still be able to go ahead and practice what we want to cover in this demo. So already I have two systems set up. Here I will be using two systems. One is a Windows 10 PC and the other is Windows 7 PC. And we're going to see how we can set up these two systems to begin to access each other and begin to share information. It doesn't really matter what OS you are using. It could be Windows, Mac, Linux, or whatever OS you want to use. The idea is simply the same, and then we'll be able to accomplish the following tasks that we want to carry out in this tutorial. So look at the whiteboard to have an overview of what we are going to accomplish in this tutorial. Simply, we are setting up a local area network. We already have a switch here. So you could see my switch here. It doesn't really need to be Cisco, as I mentioned earlier. So it could be any vendor switch. And in my own case, I have two systems connecting to this switch, as you can see. So I have PC1 and I also have PC2, and I've mapped out a Class C network to use to address the need of the TCP/IP settings of these two PCs on the network. And what network I want to use is 192.168.5.0, and this guy is going to be 192.168.5.10, and the other system is going to be 192.168.5.11. And the requirement, as I mentioned earlier, is having a switch, having PCs, and also having a network cable or network cables to connect these PCs to the switch. And then we'll go ahead, already that requirement is met because we're already here, we have a switch and we have two systems, and the systems have been connected to the switch using straight cables. So we are going to begin from step 4, where we need to configure these IP settings on each of these two systems. This will be 5.10, this will be 5.11. After that, we'll do a ping to see if these systems are able to access each other. So let's begin. So I'm going to bring up my Windows 10 PC. So this is my Windows 10 machine, and we want to navigate to where we can give this system an IP address. We're just going to type ncpa. By the way, this is Windows command prompt. So to open up your command prompt, just go to the search at the bottom of the screen and type cmd, short for command prompt. And then command prompt window opens. We are going to do ncpa.cpl and hit the enter key, and it takes us to where we can configure the TCP/IP settings for this system. So double click this guy, go to properties, and we're going to double click Internet Protocol version 4, and it takes us to where we will assign this system IP address. So the moment this guy is opened up, we're going to put it on use the following IP address. All right, so if you have a server on your network, you could leave it the way it is, and server is going to allocate this PC IP automatically. In this situation, we don't have any server, so we'll have to do it manually. So select use the following IP address. This guy is going to be the first IP, which is 192.168.5.10. And the moment you click on the box for subnet mask, it's going to put the subnet mask automatically. We don't need a gateway for now because we don't need to access the internet, and we don't need DNS for now, but I just put in something there. So what we need for this setup is just an IP address and subnet mask. Click on OK and click on OK again, and then close. Now hover over to the other system. So I'm going to bring up a Windows 7 PC, and I'm going to do the same process. So on the Windows icon here, I'm going to type cmd to get into the Windows command prompt. So cmd, enter, and here I'm going to do ncpa.cpl, same command we did on Windows 10. It takes us to our LAN adapter. Double click this guy, select properties, and we also once again go to Internet Protocol version 4, double click, and then use the following IP So this guy is going to be given .11. Windows 10 is on 5.10. So 192.168.5.11. And once again, click on the subnet mask and it will be entered automatically. OK, OK, and close. All right, so let's look at the whiteboard and see what we have been able to do so far. So far, we've been able to configure the TCP/IP settings on the two systems, right? So we have given my Windows 10 PC 5.10 and we have given my Windows 7 PC 5.11. All right, so task number 4 completed. So we want to see how we can issue a ping. Now, what does ping do? Ping allows us to see if this PC is able to access this PC, and also if this PC is able to access this PC, right? So if this guy is able to ping this guy, then we are good to go. But when you issue a ping from here to this guy and is unreachable or it times out, then we know that they are not able to see each other, even though they are already connected to the network switch. In that case, we'll have to do two things to fix it. All right, so let's see if we can ping first. And then if we are not able, then we'll see how we can fix it. So go back to the Windows 10 machine and I'm going to bring up the command prompt once again. So cmd, and here I can do ipconfig just to confirm what I've configured earlier. So you could see that this guy is now having 192.168.5.10. All right, the other system is on 5.11. So let's see if we're able to reach that system. Type ping 192.168.5.11. Enter key, and let's see what the outcome will be. All right, so we can see that we are not able to reach that system, and then the request is timing out. So let's hover over to that system and see if we can reach the Windows 10. So this is a Windows 7 machine and our Windows 10 is not able to reach it. Once again, let's confirm what its IP address is. ifconfig is for Linux systems. Here we do ipconfig. Hit enter key, and this guy, as you can see, is 192.168.5.11. So let's see if we can ping Windows 10 on 5.10. Ping 192.168.5.10. Enter. And so the Windows 7 can get to the Windows 10, but the Windows 10 cannot get to the Windows 7. So what could be the problem? Well, whenever you ping a system and the ping is not able to go, it means that it could be one of these two problems. One, it could be that network discovery is turned off. So net discovery could be turned off on that Windows 10, Windows 7, I mean. So network discovery could be turned on. So let's see if it's network discovery. If network discovery is not a problem, then it could be Windows firewall settings. So have to configure firewall to allow ICMP traffic. All right. So the Windows 7 is able to ping Windows 10. That means we don't have issues with Windows 10. Windows 10 is not able to ping Windows 7 on 5.11, so Windows 7 is the one not allowing ping traffic to come into it. So let's go to Windows 7 and see why. All right, so on Windows 7 machine, on the network icon on the taskbar, I'm going to right click on it and go to Open Network and Sharing Center. And I'm going to change Advanced Sharing Settings. And you could see that network discovery is turned off here. What does network discovery allows us to do on a network? When network discovery is on, this computer can see other computers, and other computers on the network can also see this computer. So it's as simple as that. So turn on network discovery under public current profile, and we also turn on network discovery under home or work network, right? And so once that is done, we're going to hit the Save Changes button, and then we'll go back to the Windows 10 machine and try the ping again. So the last time out, we'll ping 5.11 from Windows 10, it timed out. So let's repeat the ping and see if it still times out. All right, so it's still timing out. All right, so let's go back to that Windows 7. So it simply means that setting up or turning on network discovery in Windows 7 was not able to fix the issue. So we want to look at the second fix, which is tuning the Windows firewall on that Windows 7 machine. So get back to that system and let us look at firewall. So you see firewall here. Um, if you right click on the network icon, go to open network and sharing settings, you are going to see this page. The last time out, we went to change advanced sharing settings where we turned on network discovery. All right. So now if you go back one step, you're going to see Windows Firewall here. So click on Windows Firewall and you are going to go to advanced settings of Windows Firewall and we are going to inbound rule and we're going to right click on inbound rule and select new rule. And it's not really a good idea to put off your firewall because it acts as a defense for your system. So instead of turning it off, we can configure a firewall rule to help us allow ICMP traffic, which is ping traffic. We're going to customize this rule and we're going to go to next. All right. So next should be at the bottom. All right. There we go. Next. And next again. And here, protocol we are allowing through the firewall should be ICMP v4. ICMP, by the way, is Internet Control Message Protocol version 4. All right, so go to next. And what do we want to do to ICMP traffic? We want to allow it from any IP address to any IP address within the local area network. Go to next. And this is where we specify the action. Action is we are allowing the connection. Go to next. And we go to next. And we finally give it a name. I will just name it allow ping, right? So you can name it anything and then we click on finish. All right, so that is the second thing we need to do. And so if the network discovery is not able to fix the issue, we'll look at Windows firewall settings. Now let's go back to the Windows 10 machine and try to ping the Windows 7 machine again. Hopefully it goes through this time around and you could see that we get a reply message saying that this PC is able to access or reach that other PC. All right, so coming back to our task, we see that we've been able to accomplish task number 5, which is ensuring that the systems are able to access each other using utility ping. Now let's share files so that someone in the other system could be able to access videos or documents in the other system. And that's one of the functions, some features of a computer network, being able to share information and resources. So how do we share file? So let's share from Windows 10 point of view. So I'm going to hover to the Windows 10 machine and I'm going to minimize the Windows command prompt. And here I have a software advanced IP scanner that can be used to scan a network and discover all the devices connected on the network. And this advanced IP scanner should be in the download folder of this Windows 10 machine. All right, there is it. So we copy this advanced IP scanner. Now I'm going to create a folder and put this software inside the folder and share it because I want the owner of the Windows 7 machine on the network to be able to use this software on their system without even having to copy it from my system using a flash drive. So right click on the desktop and create a folder. Now I'm going to name this folder whatever you feel like, share software. So I'm naming this folder share software. And then I'm going to right click on the folder and then I'm going to share with and I'm going to select specific people and then I'm going to drop down and share it with everyone on my network and then I'll click on add. You see that by default everyone can only read the content of the folder, so we'll drop down and select read write and we can click on share button here and the folder is shared. Yes, we want to turn on network discovery at the same time. Okay, so this folder is shared, but there's another way we could share the same folder. Now, the first time we right clicked, went to share with. In other versions of Windows 10, you are going to see give access to instead of share with. So take note of that. But instead of going to share with or give access to, we're going to go all the way down to properties. And we'll click on sharing tab, and then we'll go to advanced sharing, and then we'll click on share this folder, and then go to permission and make sure that everyone have full control to the folder. Apply and OK and apply and OK. And that's another way of sharing the folder. And so we can close this guy. Now we have shared this folder, which means that every other system on the network should be able to access this folder. Like now, let's put a content inside the folder so that people accessing the folder will be able to make use of the software inside the folder. So already I copied advanced IP scanner from the download. So let's just paste it inside the folder. So subsequently, any software I put inside this folder can be accessed by any computer on the network. All right, so how do we access this software over the network? Notice that we share this software on a Windows 10 machine, but even the Windows 7 user on the network could still be able to access that folder and get that software installed on their system. So how can we do that? Then I'm going back to the Windows 7 machine, and on the desktop, I'm going to right click and go to New and then select Shortcuts. And then on the new shortcut box, I'm going to type / followed by the IP address of the Windows machine that shared the file. In this case, 192.168.5.10 will be the IP address of the Windows 10. And so once that is entered, we'll go to next. And what do we want to name that shortcut? We could just say network shares, whatever name you want to give it. All right. So once the name is given to the folder, I omitted letter K here. Once a name is given to the folder, we could just finish the sharing. And so on my desktop, I have an icon called Network Shares with a little icon of a system. So if I open this shortcut, you could see the share software, which was the name we gave to what we shared on Windows 10. So on the Windows 10 machine on my desktop, you see shared software. And if you open that folder, you are going to see that we have advanced IP scanner software in it. So let's go back again to the Windows 7 machine, and you could see that that is the same folder we are seeing here. Open it up and we'll see advanced IP scanner. We could even install it on this Windows 7 machine, and then the installation will be passing through the network. And that's actually amazing, because here what we actually seen is a software that is shared on this machine here is passing through the network cable to the switch, and the switch will forward it to the port that the Windows 7 machine is connected, and it's going to follow this network cable and get to this Windows 7, and we're actually installing it on this Windows 7 machine. And we're doing all of this leveraging on the benefits of having a computer network. So let's see how far the installation has gone. All right, so we'll run the installation. English will be fine. And next, accept the license, next. And we're actually installing this from over the network. And that covers the section of sharing files. Now, how can we use that advanced IP scanner that we have shared to scan the network and get to discover all the devices connected to our network and their IP addresses? So let's perform a network scan first before we go ahead and take the last part of this section, which is configuring remote desktop settings. So let's go back to the Windows machine. So on the Windows 10, already have that software installed, while on the Windows 7, the software is still being installed. All right, so click on yes to finish the installation on Windows 7, or hover over to Windows 10 and launch that software. So the software is Advanced IP Scanner. We are going to open it. So let's wait for the software to launch, and here the software automatically picks out what I'm using in my network. Actually, this is not what I'm using. So what we are using is 192.168.5.10 and 5.11, and both of those IP addresses are on the 5.0 network. So we're going to say 192.168.5.1 to 254, which is the last IP address we have here. So click on scan, and hopefully we are going to be able to scan the network and detect all the PCs, printers, etc., devices, switches that are connected to the network. So the scan is still ongoing, and here you could see that I have two systems. One is desktop PE and one is IT admin PC. So the desktop PE is my Windows 10 machine, while the IT admin PC is my Windows 7 machine. So you could see their IP addresses. While Windows 10 is 5.10, my Windows 7 is 5.11. And you could see the system manufacturer. You could also see the MAC addresses of the systems. And so advanced IP scanner is a really powerful tool that we can use within the local area network to discover all the connected IT systems to our network. All right, now that we have discovered the two systems we have, let's take care of the last part of this demo, which is configuring remote settings. Well, remote connection allows us to connect from this PC to the other PC, and we could be doing a lot of tasks on this PC. Let's say the user of this PC is having some challenges and he needed us to provide some technical help. We don't necessarily need to come down here physically to have access to this system. We could connect to the system over the network and then resolve the issue remotely. And that's what remote connection is all about. A couple of software exists that we can use to do this. What I'm going to use in this demo is called RADME. That is remote admin, and this RADME has two software. One is viewer and the other one is server. So the system we want to connect to must have RADME server running on it, while the system we want to use to make the connection will have RADME viewer running on it. All right, so let's move over to the Windows 10 machine again. And to install the RADME, we could actually go online and type RADME and get it downloaded. But again, instead of going online, we can actually download it and install it from this advanced IP scanner. And to do that, we go to help on the advanced IP scanner. So you could see RADME viewer, that's what we need on the Windows 10, while on the Windows 7 machine, we need RADME server. So we want to be making a connection from the Windows 10 machine to the Windows 7 machine. And so the connection coming out from Windows 10, we need a viewer, while the connection will be terminated on Windows 7, we need a server. So let's install RADME viewer on Windows 10 machine. All right, so just next until we click on finish. All right, so that's it. So let's go to Windows 7 machine and click on finish here and install RADME server. So on the Windows 7, RADME installation, advanced IP scanner installation is completed, and that's the guy here. So let's go to help and go to RADME viewer. All right, so you just hold on while the RADME server is being installed on the Windows 7, while the viewer has been installed on the Windows 10, and we'll be able to use Windows 10, which is running the viewer, to connect and view what is happening on Windows 7, which is running the server. All right, so next, accept license, next, install. And so let's launch while we wait for the server to finish installing on Windows 7. Let's go over to Windows 10 machine and launch the viewer, which will allow us to connect and view what is going on Windows 7 machine. So you could just type RADME on the search and you could see RADME viewer there. We're going to launch it. And here you are going to see the RADME viewer window, and under connection you see this plus sign here. Let's add a new connection. Now we are connecting to a system which is, we'll just name it Windows 7, and we are going to put the IP address of that Windows 7 machine, which is 192.168.5.11, and that's what we need. And we'll click on OK, and that system is added. So if you double click on this system, it's going to ask us for username and password to connect to it. And so we are going to do that the moment we are done installing the server on the Windows 7 machine. So yes, and in a couple of seconds the server should complete the installation. All right, so the server is here, and we'll click on finish. Yes, let's minimize the advanced IP scanner, Minimize everything. And so this is the admin server settings. So I'm going to click on permissions and then permissions again. And I'm going to create a test user that will use to connect to this system from Windows 10 machine. The username is just going to be test and the password will be test 123. Let's confirm the password test 123 and we'll click on OK. And we'll have to define the permission that the person should have. It could be file transfer, it could be telnet, it could be voice message, voice chat, send message, but I want to give the user full access. So we'll click on OK and click on OK again. And so let's go back to the Windows 10 machine and use the username and password we have created on the admin server here to connect to this Windows 7 machine. So I'll go to Windows 10 and I'm going to double click on this connection we have created and it's asking me for username and password. Already we created it on the server in Windows 10, which is test for username and test 123 for password. And we are going to click on OK and hopefully you should be able to connect, and there we go. We're actually on the Windows 7 machine now, and you could see if I go to the Windows 7 machine physically, you see that we have the admin server opened up under Windows. And so I could minimize that server and I'll go back to Windows 10. You see that that server is also minimized here. All right. So I'm actually controlling this system from another system, and I could even share file by dragging something from this screen and dropping it on this screen. And so that actually is one of the benefits, many benefits of having a computer network, being able to move files, documents from one system to the other. And so I could do anything on this system as if I'm physically there. I could shut down this system, I could restart this system. That's actually what we mean by remote connection. Connect from one system to the other, which is remote connections. Thank you so very much.